Yeah, so when you try to separate yourself from the world a little bit, the people will still come and bother you. It's very interesting. We built this sort of like this little bit of a paradise here, and I have a gate up top. I don't know how many times people have shown up with charges, environmental destruction, or whatever the charges are. The people show up. So even if you lock yourself down into a place like this and you try to create something completely different that very few people have created, they will come. They will still seek you out and they will still try to tell you, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this. It's very surprising for me because you're basically separating yourself. You're doing your thing on your land. And here in Ecuador, they do respect your land very, very much so. So that was a big bonus of having a government that actually allows you to own land as a foreigner and to develop the land as a foreigner. So that's a very big plus for Ecuador. Now, what happens is they have this system where somebody has to denounce you. So they have to go to this government agency and file a report on what I am doing here, what I am doing wrong, and the government official will come out. Now, I've had some really strange ones. I've had one where the guy said that heavy machinery down below and I'm destroying all the land down there. I don't own anything down there and I have no machinery. So that was the government official's fault for not doing his research before he showed up here. 2 weeks ago, I had a claim that I'm mining the land here and selling the gravel. The road is 1.5 kilometers down that way, and I'd have to carry everything by horseback to sell the gravel. So he realized immediately that the charge was bogus. We had a charge where the lady says that I'm tearing down her house. She chased with the government ordinance officer. She chased him down here and he asked her very clearly in front of me, he says, "Where is your house? Please show me exactly where your house is that this man is tearing down." "Oh, I'm really sorry. I don't have a house here." And the guy was really, really angry. And there's no consequences for them laying these really bizarre charges. They can do it every day, and the government officials, they sort of deal with it. But now they do have this recognition that there's a bit of craziness going on. So it's really interesting. You have this scenario where people are basically trying to bother you. And if you're the type of person that gets really upset about it, then it's hard to live in a place like that. But if you can just brush it off and let it go past you and kind of laugh at it and have a coffee with the government officials and talk about it, then it's not so bad. It isn't that scenario where you actually feel like somebody's, trying to drive you crazy. Yeah, at a certain time of everyone's life, you have the possibility or the ability to make drastic changes. You have the ability to make drastic choices. You could move to another country that is less expensive, that provides you with more opportunities. There's all these choices that we have as human beings. Our free will enables us to do things that are very unique, different from the animal kingdom. So we can do all these things as a human being, but the majority of us make really bad choices. And this idea of living in a place like this where the water comes out of the mountain, where the soil is very fertile, it hasn't been really messed with too much, everything grows really well, there's constant moisture coming from the sky, you're involved in nature, there's no diesel fumes, there's all these benefits of living in this third world country. If you have the ability to create your own little oasis, you have to find a country that leaves you alone or really respects this process of, if somebody makes a claim against you, is it true or false? And that makes an experience like this worthwhile. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're here in Ecuador, to experience a different type of life. We have pet iguanas running around here that let us pet them. We have all kinds of other birds and insects and animals that come into our space here, and they are seeking refugee, a little bit of shelter here. So if we weren't here, it would be a very different valley. We're trying to influence school kids by having them visit here. We're trying to do all these things that will make a better world. It'd be nice if there were more people sort of understanding that these really special places are getting less and less because mankind is just destroying everything. For what reason, we don't really even know. Is just this profit driven, unrealistic approach to dealing with the world is very odd and not sustainable anymore. Yeah, these places are running out where you have abundant water, you have clean air, you have good soil to grow things in. These zones are kind of disappearing in the world. So these blue zones are worth fighting for. Even if the locals are giving you all kinds of trouble, you have to ignore it. You have to move forward with building what your imagination is and what your vision is. And if you can do that, it makes such a difference because you're living in such a healthy place. And if you're living in like a smog infected city, you're not going to live as long as if you live in a place where you grow your own food and you live in such a way that you're constantly consuming healthy things, the water you drink, the air you breathe, the food you eat. So it makes a big difference when you can create a place like this and ignore the background noise, the non-relevant characters in a game. These people, you can't consider them important. You can't consider them part of your life. You just have to ignore them, and you'll do really well in a place like this. It's actually very interesting when you're creating a place like this, and the wildlife shows up, and the plants start to grow. There's this feeling that your environment is very reliable. And what I mean by that is you can kind of count on everything growing for you. You can count on everything making you happy. You can count on this place turning into something greater every day. So that forward movement is missing in a lot of people's life, where there's something around them that's moving constantly forward. The trees are getting taller, the plants are filling in, there's lizards everywhere, there's birds coming to eat the seeds, there's lots of this beautiful activity going on. So it's very important to really push something like this forward and completely lock out the background noise. These people that come that are jealous, they don't want you doing this, they don't want these trees here, they don't want you cleaning up a place, they don't want you moving forward. Whatever the jealousy is or the reasoning they have to slow you down is quite remarkable. And if you have the ability to just ignore it, you can really focus on what you need to do. You know, it's very obvious that a lot of human beings are focusing on the wrong thing. The wrong thing may be having a 6,000 square foot house, a brand new sports car, whatever it may be. Something like this actually is very interesting because it's achievable, yes. You're standing out like a sore thumb. You're sharing a message that, the environment is very, very important. And if you can do that mentally, and survive these people trying to make sure that you're not moving forward, then you'll have a really good life in a place like this, like in Ecuador, where you're sort of separating yourself from the world, but you're also including the world by inviting them to see how these places could be created, these food forests or whatever you want to call this. It's really an invitation to find the rest of these blue zones, protect them as an individual, make them advance, make them look beautiful, make them provide shelter for all kinds of animals, for all kinds of reptiles, birds, insects. Like we're really, if you look around here, we're the only place left that is really looking after a very small slice of this planet. And if there were more people trying to do exactly this, where you're introducing plant diversity, you're introducing all these different seeds and plants that are multiplying in such a healthy, natural way, then it's really a job well done. And it would be nice if more people took on these blue zones, bought them, secured them, and protected them. And that would make a big difference in this world if we have these oases that are occurring in many different places around the world.